Shocking truth: everyday foods that turn cancerous. When reheated, doctors urge you to stop now. The hidden danger. Lurking in your microwave. Imagine this: it's a busy day. You open your fridge, see last night's leftovers, pop them into the microwave, and feel good that you're saving time and money. But what if I told you that reheating certain everyday foods could secretly transform them into substances that raise your cancer risk? For decades, doctors and scientists have warned about the dangers of some chemical changes that happen when food is reheated improperly. Yet most people shrug it off, thinking, "Come on, it's just leftovers." Here's the shocking truth: some common foods we eat almost every week can become dangerous when reheated. This isn't about scaring you for no reason. It's about sharing scientific facts that can help you protect yourself and your loved ones. Today's video might change how you look at your microwave forever. We're going to talk about 5 everyday foods that, when reheated, can form harmful compounds linked to cancer or other health issues. By the end of this video, you'll know which foods to handle carefully, how to store them safely, and what you can do instead of reheating to keep your meals delicious and healthy. Food number 1. Spinach. A healthy green that turns dangerous. Let's start with a food we all think of as healthy: spinach. Spinach is loaded with nutrients like iron, calcium, and vitamins A and K. It's famous for supporting bone health and boosting your immune system. Many seniors add spinach to salads, soups, and omelets. But here's the shocking part: reheating spinach can increase the formation of harmful compounds called nitrosamines. Spinach naturally contains nitrates, which are harmless in their original form. However, when spinach is cooked and then cooled, bacteria can start converting those nitrates into nitrites. And when you reheat the spinach, those nitrites can form nitrosamines, chemical compounds that have been linked to cancer in animal studies. Consider Helen, a 65-year-old woman who loved making spinach soup on Sundays and saving leftovers for the week. Every evening, she'd reheat a small bowl for dinner. But after reading about nitrosamines, Helen realized she might be unknowingly exposing herself to harmful chemicals. Now Helen makes spinach dishes fresh and only cooks what she plans to eat right away. Does this mean you should avoid spinach altogether? Absolutely not. Spinach remains one of the healthiest vegetables you can eat. The key is to eat it fresh and avoid reheating it multiple times. Safe tips for spinach. Only cook as much spinach as you plan to eat in one meal. If you have leftovers, cool them quickly. Store in the fridge and eat cold in salads rather than reheating. Don't leave cooked spinach sitting at room temperature for long periods. Food number 2. Mushrooms. Delicious but heat sensitive. Mushrooms are a favorite in stir-fries, pasta, soups, and countless dishes. They're low in calories, high in fiber, and provide B vitamins and minerals like selenium. But there's a catch: mushrooms contain proteins that can degrade when exposed to repeated heat. When mushrooms are cooked, cooled, and then reheated, the proteins can break down and transform into compounds that might irritate your digestive system. In some cases, this can also generate substances that add stress to your body's cells, potentially contributing to long-term health issues. Let's talk about George, a 70-year-old man who adored mushroom risotto. He'd cook a large pot on Sunday and reheat portions for lunch all week. But after suffering frequent stomach cramps, George's doctor suggested he stop reheating mushrooms. George started cooking smaller portions instead, enjoying mushrooms fresh, and his stomach pains disappeared. So, do mushrooms cause cancer if reheated? Not directly. The problem is more about the chemical changes that happen to proteins and other compounds in mushrooms when they're exposed to repeated heat cycles. While research doesn't show a direct link to cancer, repeated heating might create oxidative stress in your body over time. Safe tips for mushrooms: cook only the amount you'll eat in one meal. If you have leftovers, eat them cold in salads or sandwiches rather than reheating. Store cooked mushrooms in the refrigerator and use them within 24 hours. Food number 3. Potatoes. A staple with a dark side when reheated. Potatoes are one of America's favorite comfort foods. Mashed, baked, roasted, or turned into fries. They're on almost every table. Potatoes provide vitamin C, potassium, and fiber, and they're naturally low in fat. But reheated potatoes carry a hidden risk. Improperly stored or reheated potatoes can become a breeding ground for bacteria that produce toxins linked to serious illness. Here's how it happens. When cooked potatoes are left at room temperature for long periods, like sitting out during a buffet or in a restaurant, they can become contaminated with a bacteria called Clostridium botulinum. This bacteria produces botulinum toxin, which can cause botulism, a rare but potentially fatal illness. Botulism attacks your nerves and can lead to paralysis or even death if not treated promptly. Consider Martha, a 68-year-old woman who hosted big family dinners. She loved making mashed potatoes in advance, leaving them out for hours, and then reheating them. After hearing about botulism risk, Martha now cools her potatoes quickly, stores them in the fridge, and heats only the portion she plans to serve. While botulism is rare, it's a serious risk for seniors whose immune systems might not respond as strongly as younger people's. Another concern, reheating potatoes at high temperatures can create acrylamide, a chemical linked to cancer in animal studies. This mostly happens when potatoes are fried, roasted, or baked at very high heat, and then reheated. Safe tips for potatoes. Refrigerate cooked potatoes within 2 hours of cooking. Reheat potatoes to steaming hot temperatures at least empty. Avoid reheating potatoes multiple times. Consider enjoying leftover potatoes cold in potato salad rather than reheating. Food number 4. Chicken. A protein hero with a dark side if reheated. Chicken is one of America's most popular proteins. It's lean-packed with protein and usually considered a healthy choice for people watching their weight or heart health. Seniors often turn to chicken as a safer alternative to red meat because it's lower in saturated fat. But here's what many people don't realize. Reheating chicken can cause chemical changes in its proteins, making it potentially harmful. Chicken, like all meats, contains a significant amount of protein. When cooked, cooled, and reheated multiple times, the structure of those proteins can change. These changes may make the proteins harder to digest and can produce compounds that irritate your digestive system. For some people, this leads to stomach discomfort, bloating, or even nausea. Beyond digestive issues, reheating chicken at high temperatures, especially frying or grilling it again, can produce heterocyclic amines, HCAs, and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, PAHs. These compounds are formed when muscle meat is cooked at high temperatures and have been linked to an increased risk of cancer in animal studies. Let's talk about Edward, a 69-year-old man who loved cooking large batches of grilled chicken on Sundays for meal prepping. He'd reheat portions throughout the week. But Edward started experiencing frequent stomach cramps and acid reflux. His doctor advised him to stop reheating chicken multiple times and instead cook fresh portions or eat leftovers cold in salads. Edward made the change and noticed his stomach issues disappeared. While eating leftover chicken one time isn't necessarily dangerous, repeated reheating, especially at high temperatures, can raise potential risks. Safe tips for chicken: only cook the amount you plan to eat in the next 1 or 2 days. Store leftover chicken in the fridge and eat it within 24-48 hours. Avoid reheating chicken multiple times. If you reheat chicken, do so at low to medium heat, avoiding high-temperature methods like broiling or grilling again. Consider eating cold leftover chicken in salads or wraps, rather than reheating. Food number 5. Rice. A beloved staple with a hidden risk. Rice is a global staple food. It's affordable, versatile, and a comfort food for people of all ages. Seniors often prefer rice because it's easy to chew and gentle on the stomach. But rice also has a dangerous secret: improper storage, and reheating can allow a bacteria called Bacillus cereus to multiply and produce toxins. These toxins are not destroyed by heat and can cause food poisoning even if the rice is reheated until steaming hot. Here's how the problem happens. When rice is cooked and left at room temperature for several hours, Bacillus cereus spores can grow into bacteria and produce toxins. These toxins can lead to nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea, a condition sometimes referred to as fried rice syndrome. Consider Linda, a 72-year-old woman who loved cooking a big pot of rice on Monday to use all week. She often left it cooling on the counter for hours before putting it in the fridge. Over time, Linda began experiencing frequent bouts of nausea and stomach pain. Her doctor explained that leaving rice out too long allowed harmful bacteria to grow. Linda changed her habit, now refrigerating rice within an hour of cooking, and the stomach issues stopped. While the connection between reheated rice and cancer isn't direct, the chronic inflammation and cell stress caused by frequent food poisoning episodes might contribute to long-term health risks for seniors. Another hidden danger: reheating rice in a plastic container in the microwave can sometimes release harmful chemicals from the plastic into the rice. Over time, certain chemicals like BPA bisphenol A have been linked to hormonal disruption and potential cancer risks. Safe tips for rice. Cool cooked rice quickly and refrigerate it within 1 hour. Store rice in shallow containers so it cools faster. Eat leftover rice within 1-2 days. When reheating rice, ensure it's steaming hot all the way through. Avoid reheating rice in cheap plastic containers. Instead, use glass or microwave-safe ceramic dishes. Why these dangers matter, especially for seniors. So why should seniors be particularly cautious about reheating these foods? As we age, our digestive systems become more sensitive. Our immune systems weaken slightly, making us more vulnerable to infections and toxins. And our bodies may not detoxify harmful substances as efficiently as when we were younger. For seniors, what might be a mild stomach upset for a younger person can become a more serious problem. Food poisoning can lead to dehydration, hospital stays, and complications. Repeated exposure to compounds linked to cancer, even in small amounts, can build up over time. It's not about panic, it's about prevention. Small changes in how you store, reheat, and prepare food can significantly reduce your risk. Eating fresh, properly stored meals helps keep your digestive system and your entire body healthier. Real stories, real risks. Helen thought spinach soup was helping her stay healthy, but learned it could form nitrosamines when reheated. George loved mushroom risotto, but suffered stomach pain until he stopped reheating mushrooms. Martha hosted big dinners with mashed potatoes left out for hours, not realizing the risk of botulism and acrylamide when reheated. Edward meal prepped grilled chicken for a week, unaware of the risk of harmful compounds forming with multiple reheats. Linda cooked big pots of rice, never suspecting a bacteria lurking in cooled rice could make her sick over and over. These are not isolated stories. They happen every day in households across the world. How seniors can stay safe. Here's how seniors can reduce the risk of harmful compounds in reheated food. Only cook what you plan to eat. Avoid making large batches unless you're sure you can store and consume them safely. Cool food quickly. Don't leave cooked food sitting at room temperature for hours. Store leftovers properly. Refrigerate within 1 hour of cooking. Use safe containers. Avoid reheating food in plastic containers that aren't labeled microwave safe. Reheat food thoroughly. Make sure leftovers are steaming hot all the way through. Limit reheating to once. Avoid reheating food multiple times. When in doubt, throw it out. It's better to waste a little food than risk your health. Conclusion. Your health deserves the truth. My dear friends, the foods we've discussed today, spinach mushrooms, potatoes, chicken and rice are healthy and delicious when prepared and eaten safely. But they can become risky if reheated improperly. Knowing these facts empowers you to make safer choices. It's not about avoiding these foods, it's about handling them wisely. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you found this video helpful, please consider subscribing to my channel and giving this video a thumbs up. Your support helps me keep creating valuable content to help seniors live longer, healthier lives. And don't forget to share this video with someone you care about. It might protect their health too. Take care of your meals, and they'll take care of you. Stay healthy, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next video.